Hello, everyone. Good evening, good evening, good evening. I'd like to know where you're connecting from. I'm so excited. This is Morning Matters Live. Generally, we're going to be speaking about financial literacy, how to save, investment, real estate, life insurance, what businesses to do, all in the event for us to be able to know how to make manage and multiply money. And this is very essential because it's not taught in anywhere. It's not taught in school. It's not taught anywhere. And so for that, we want to start very early, educating our younger ones, educating the middle ones, and even the older ones. And I'm excited to have you on this show today. I'd like to know where you're connecting from. Please leave a comment as we start. I want to go in introducing what the show is all about. So great to have you on today's show. And before I go in, I'd like to introduce myself. My colleague is connecting. I'm sure maybe a bit of technical error or issues, but he would come online. And my name is Sandra Oko. I'm a Maxwell Leadership Certified Team Member and Coach. And presently, we'll be talking today on financial literacy as it relates to savings. And I don't think I should be the one introducing myself. My colleague should be doing that because I'm the one speaking today. I'm the host and he's the co-host. So glad to have you, Israel.
Thank you so much for having me, Sandra.
I'm sure you
How
had
are
some
you?
technical issues. I'm fine. I'm fine. Very excited to have you today.
Yeah,
And this
thank
is
you.
our first show, I guess. Is it not?
Definitely. The Money
Oh,
Matters show. This is the first show.
good, good. I had to say co-host with me because I know you're a seasoned and a chartered accountant, and you seem to have some basics and hands-on financial matters, and that's the reason we're here together today.
Yeah.
Basically, our topic today is financial literacy as it relates to savings. Why savings is important. And I guess before I start speaking, I'd like you to introduce me. You have my
Okay.
bio already with you before
Okay,
I go
sure.
into the topic.
Okay, great. So our host, Sandra Uko, is Maxwell Leadership Certified Team Member, a author and a sales expert, and also a member of the Toastmasters International. She's a member of Toastmaster International as the Vice President Public Relations. She sits in several boards of great businesses. She runs a Monday live show to share great stories of men and women who just to make a difference every day. That is made, MADE. Now, through the 3S, survivor to succeed, and now significance. She's saddled with the mandate to lead with to lead this generation to live their lives to the max. And she found also the Money Matters live show. And this Money Matters live show is talking about sales, marketing, investment, life insurance, health insurance, and other businesses you can do to make, multiply, and manage money. This is a whole lot of what is it called? A whole lot of
Portfolio,
ideas,
I guess.
information, and a lot of packaged infos for you. So this is a lot. So Sandra is also passionate about helping people and also bringing out the best in their lives. You understand, as it relates to guiding them through their ultimate vision. One of the creative ways by which she started pursuing her passion was when she's not working. She's reading, she likes reading, she likes writing, she likes journalizing, she enjoys evangelism and also traveling and meeting with people. So, and also attending transformational events. I'm so excited to welcome Sandra today and on the first show of the Money Matters live show. Join me to welcome Sandra.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm excited too. And thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Israel. Thank you for making our time, even with the technical
Yeah.
issues, not allowing any of these things to hold you back. Because a lot of times I tell people, I said there are things you cannot get over. And when you cannot walk over it, you don't want to allow such to disturb you. You've got to be calm. And today we're going to be talking
Definitely.
about financial literacy. I probably will just give a perusal and just a nugget about what savings is
Okay.
all about. I'm sure you all know what savings is all about. And basically, what is savings? And today's topic is savings, financial literacy as it relates to savings. And this is how you can accumulate wealth. You start by saving. Saving is the portion of a person's
Exactly.
income that is set aside for future use and is not spent on current consumption. You don't save because you want to use it to buy food or buy clothing. It is important to save money for unexpected expenses,
Exactly.
retirement, and to achieve financial goals. Savings in itself is not, if not invested, will not amount to much in the near future. And this is because of inflation. You don't want to keep your money in the bank, and inflation, you think you have money in the bank, and inflation comes, and before you know it, the money you have saved thinking can buy you a property is not even enough to take you home.
Exactly.
Savings
Exactly.
is Saving money is a key component of financial planning. And saving can be kept, money saved can be kept in the bank and not at home, can be kept in investments or other vehicles. What I mean by other vehicles, other investment vehicles such as stocks, bonds, or real estate. It can also be used to accumulate a reserve of money to be used in the future for items as education, retirement, or emergencies. There could be emergencies, something running wrong, something going wrong, health issues, and you need money to take care of that impending emergency. It is your savings that you can fall back on. You can run out to the bank to say you want to get money on a loan for health issues. It is what you have put together over time that you can fall back to as your savings. Savings in itself is the key element of financial planning. And having a healthy saving account can help protect an individual from financial hardship. And this is true because if you do have an healthy saving culture, in the advent that you will lose your job, in the advent that things are not working right, in the advent that there's an emergency, you have something to fall back on. You do not need to look for a loan or look for people to help, maybe GoFundMe or look for help anywhere else to help that situation, because over time you have put aside something to help you. It's also an important part of budgeting. You get your salary, or you're paid for any contracts, or you're paid for any activity you have done. You should be able to set aside, and that this is where budgeting comes in. You get a whole lot of money and you want to start spending. You must have a budget. You must have an outline of things you want to use the money for. Where it is said that where there is no plan, then you are planning to fail. So in events where even before the money comes, even when you're paid your check, this is how much you're going to be bringing in every month. There must be a budget on how the money is going to be shared. Share to pay bills, share to pay yourself. I read a book that said he said it's only a fool that works and does not pay himself, because a lot of times we get our pay, we pay bills, we pay every other thing, but and even sometimes some people don't give don't give tithe or offerings in church, and do not even give to others to be a blessing, because the
Yeah.
one of the natural way and ardent way I know that you can make money is by giving. It's a principles by the Bible. So a lot of people will tell you, even the money I have is not even enough to take me home. So why should I be
So
a
why
blessing
should
to
I
others?
give?
Yes, and that's the story behind why people do not give money. That's I don't have enough. I've not paid my
Yeah.
bills. So why do I give out all this? So beyond, as a leader, we are called to serve. We're called to look beyond ourselves, even when we are in, difficult situation. You can still share something. You can still give. You can still part with something to a neighbor who needs help, who you truly know that needs help. And that's why I said there must be a proper budgeting, a proper plan on how the money you receive will be spent. Where there is no budgeting, there is no plan for the money will go the same way it came. So that means you should have a consideration on putting a budget together. So when making financial decisions, you must have a written out plan. So having a savings plan in place is essential for financial stability and security. And that's where financial literacy comes into being, because you need to be educated to know that there must be a plan for any money that you receive. so that you can plan the money and use the money very well. Regularly saving money, even small amounts, will help you build a wealth, will help you build wealth over time. It is not
Definitely.
immediately. Yeah, it's over time. So you have to give some time to it. You can decide that in the next 3, 4 years, 5 years, I want to be putting aside a certain amount of money. And this setting aside money you're setting aside, you're not setting it aside and leaving it within your four walls of where you live, your house, because you will always go back to put your hands in it. But when the money is in an account or bank, yes, that's a better place to save money. But beyond putting your money in the bank, you want your money to also work for you. So, in order for you to build wealth over time, it is not enough to set aside money in the bank. Wealth will
Mm.
not come that way. It will take you a long time to achieve your wealthy plan or your wealthy goal. So it's important you create a savings plan and fit your budget needs around your savings. I hear people
Mm.
say, "Oh, I've got bills to pay." So if your bills are so important for you to pay, then savings should be much more important to you than the bills. So, and that's why I attended a session like this where I learned that if you're able to pay your bills, then you should be able to set money aside for savings. You should see your
Yeah.
savings as a bill that you must fulfill, that you must pay. And I already made a statement that said, you do not get money such that you pay all your bills and forgetting that you need to pay yourself. And this money you pay yourself is said to be money you're saving for the rainy day. So how can you be working and be eating with your 10 fingers, meaning that everything that comes into your hand, you get to squander it, and at the end of the month, you have no reserve? Should there be any emergency? Should there be anything that needs immediate money? How do you get help? Where do you run to get help? So setting up automatic transfers and deposit into a savings account is critical, such that you know that once I get my paycheck, once the check gets into the bank, there is a standing instruction instructing the bank to take this amount of money and place into a savings account for me. This makes it easier because sometimes you might want to save. My God, there are a lot of bills and a lot of demand coming on you. Emotion will be drawn in, so such that you will forget to save money. So it's always good you make plans before now, so that you have instructed your bank to take a certain part of your money, a certain part of money that drops into your account every 30 days, and save it for you into an account you call a savings account. And this account should not be an account that is easily accessible with ATMs, easily accessible to you. Because once they're easily accessible to you, should there be an emergency? Should there be a need? Should that just be a need or a craving? You would always want to. Some people will tell you, how can I have money and I will be suffering? It is beyond that. You want to treat yourself and care for yourself. It is said that you love yourself first before you love your neighbor. So whoever you're giving money to, make sure, and that's why in the airplane, when you're traveling and when the air hostess are giving instruction, they tell you take care of yourself first before you take care of the child or husband or whoever around you, because it's only a living person that can take care of his family. So you must take care of yourself first. You must be selfish first by loving yourself before you love others. So make sure to review your budget regularly to ensure that you are meeting your saving goals. I get to understand that sometimes you have bills to pay, and these bills are not regular bills that come every month. It might just be school fees that comes quarterly. Sometimes your savings, you might have to reduce on savings, but you must have a regular visit where you review your budget. And that's why I would term this to look like a goal. You have goals that you've written, you have short-term goals, you have long-term goals. And the short-term goals, you have short-term goals that maybe every month you want to check how you're doing. Are you getting to your long-term goals? Maybe 5 years, you want to become a doctor, you want to own a company. You have those short-term goals that are either monthly, quarterly, or yearly goals that you want to check and review from time to time to see, am I in the path to achieving my long-term goals? And so that's why goals are said to be smart. Even beyond being smart, it is said that goals are smarter now. Goals are specific, they are measurable, they are achievable, they are realistic, and they are time bound, timely. And beyond that, one would say they are smarter. you might need to
Hmm.
evaluate your goals because of the changing times that we are. We're in a changing time. Things are moving so fast. So you might have to go back to evaluate your goals. Are these goals going to take me to my plan, to what I want to achieve? Maybe I want to buy a bungalow, I want to buy a mansion, and I'm planning and I'm setting money aside. And you know that with inflation, if you have been setting aside $1,000 in 20 years to come, you might not reach your goal. So sometimes you might have to go back to
Hmm.
your goals, review them, evaluate them. And after evaluating, you are meant to review your goals. So that's why I said goals have gone beyond just being smart, but they are smarter because of the changing world in which we are. They are meant to be evaluated. You might have to go back to your drawing board to review. And so it is when it comes to budgets. When what you are budgeted, oh, I want to do this in the next 10 to 20 years. You have to find out, you have to go back to review your budget because inflation and other money indices might have overtaken your plan, such that even what you're putting aside is not even enough to care for that property or that home or that school or that college you want to go. So you might have to go back to review your budget. This is very important because people set a stone and Greek, and they just believe that I have set my goal and this is my budget for the next 20, 30 years. You don't go back to review. You might have to go back to go. You have to go back to review your budget. And this must be done regularly as a result of inflation. Money is not stagnant, money is moving. So inflation, things are going up. What you bought 5 years ago, this year has gone more than 300-400% higher. So you need to review your goals. So lastly, don't forget to reward yourself. When you reach a milestone, you might want to save maybe $10,000 in a particular year. If you do achieve that, you might want to just reward yourself by celebrating. Just meaning, because these are things that would help you. It is said when you
Yes.
achieve a milestone, you need to be motivated rightly. You need to reward yourself. So having a specific goal in mind can help you stay motivated. And that's why I said you need to celebrate yourself. Pat yourself at the back. Tell yourself you're doing good. You are your number one cheerleader. You don't wait for people to cheer you. Yes, you might wait for people to cheer you. And you might at the end of the day be disappointed and no one is cheering you. So do not look for validation from anyone. You should validate yourself. Oh, I'm doing well. I think I'm improving. I think I'm getting there. So you should validate yourself. You should, talk to yourself, make yourself feel, oh, I'm getting there. I'm working in the right path. And should you need help, you can talk to other people senior out there. And that's why we need mentor. In life, even when you want to put money aside, you might see people or know one or two people who are living the kind of lifestyle you want to live. You might want to reach out to them to say, I want you to mentor me. I want to know how you do this. How have you been able to put money together to be able to buy this property, to do this? So you need people along the line. You need people you can reach out to, people who you can talk to should you have challenges. And mentors are not picked because I like them. They ought to be in the same pathway, the things you want to achieve. You don't pick a mentor that is into academics and someone and you are into business. You want to pick, except maybe there are characters or virtues and the person who is a professor that you want to learn from. Then you pick someone who is probably doing the same kind of business with you, who you know that you can
Exactly.
learn from, who you know that will be able to give you relevant information as regards the business you're doing to be able to help you to reach your desired goal. So, and you need to, I want to also encourage you, you don't need to be discouraged if you don't reach your goal right away. There will be times, there will be failures, there will be ups and downs. But I want to encourage you, stay encouraged. Don't be discouraged.
Yeah.
Keep working out towards it. Celebrate your successes along the way. It's important to adjust your budget if need be. It is said that you cut your coats according to your clothes, not your size. Because sometimes you might be bigger than your clothes. So if you know that I have 2 years of clothes and I seem to be very big, then I can decide what style can I do with these 2 yards. I might decide I want to do a jacket. I might decide that I want to do a shirt, something I can use, but I cannot sew a full dress gown. So meaning that I must cut my coat according to the material, according to the resources I have with me. And I do not have to measure myself with others. It is said that it's only a fool that measures himself with himself. Your neighbor or your friend should not be your standard of living. to say, okay, he's doing
Yeah.
well. I want to find out how he's getting his money. I want to be like him. You want to find out what business is he doing that is making him make such money. So it's important to adjust your budget if need be to ensure that you have enough money to meet your goals. Also, consider setting up a separate savings account if you have a large goal to save for. You might want to, aside from the general savings you have, you might have specific goals of things you want to do. Maybe you need a car. I don't see car as a luxury. A lot of people will tell you, oh, getting a car is a luxury. It is not. It's a vehicle for you to achieving your goals. Rather than spending so much on Uber, getting taxis, you want to have a car to save those costs that you would spend on getting a car whenever you need to go out. So finally, don't forget to check in with yourself periodically. Make sure that you're still on track to reaching your goals. I think I will take a break now to take questions. And
Okay.
if there are other questions and if there are viewers who want to ask questions,
I think
they
we're
can
seeing
ask.
some comments here. So
Yeah,
I guess once you have a question, you can please ask us as regards saving. What you said, Sandra, is a very, 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 very strong one, because a lot of people, like you said earlier, or some people say, "Oh, the money I have is not enough. I are telling me to save. How can I save? Even
true.
how do you expect me to save?" Like the other show we tuned in last week, somebody even put in the comment section, "I'm earning 50,000 naira. How can I save in this current period?" So I'm just like, really? Even let's say they cut your salary to 25,000 naira, maybe something came up. Will you die? You won't die. You would adjust, because one way or the other, we human, we find it yeah, it's easier for us to adjust to changes. Just like one of my mentors used to say, if you earn 50,000 naira and they increase your salary to 150K, after some time that 150K will not be enough for you, because you would say, "Oh, I'm using a let's say 23 inches TV. Now I'm earning 150,000. I think my house needs to look better. It upgrades your expenses." So definitely you will be complaining, "Oh, I can't save, I can't save." But definitely, if you discipline yourself, you should be able to save. Savings is very important. I'm with you, Sandra. You wanted to say something?
No, I want to continue, but I decided to take a break just to take one or two
Okay.
questions
Okay.
so that it's not a long class.
Okay. Okay. Great. Great. Great.
In the absence of any question now, maybe I should just continue. Maybe towards the end,
Okay.
I probably have one or two questions. It's a
All
key
right.
component for wealth. Saving is a key component of wealth and financial literacy, as it helps to ensure that money is available for future needs. You know, I'm just giving like a summary of all I've said for those who are just joining in, who are just coming on board. It is for future needs. You save for future needs such as emergency, investment, or retirement. Number one of all of these is for investment. You don't want to work all your life. You want your money to work for you. And so you want to plug in your money into one of these vehicles to make sure your money is working for you. For emergency situations, your money does not give back to you in any form. The money is gone when spent because you're using it to trash or solve a particular problem. For investment, yes, your money is working for you while you're sleeping. For retirements, yes, you're using the money to pay yourself when you cannot work or lift your hands. So saving money can also help to build wealth over time, as the funds can be invested to generate additional income. In our next episode, one of the classes I'll be taking again, I'll be talking about various investments to go into. But today, basically, we're just talking about savings. How do you save? Where can you save? What kind of meme? I have friends who come together to put money together. So you might just find out what works for you. It might just be you want to start, you want to, put in a standing instruction in your with your bankers to say, okay, whenever I get this paycheck every month, take a certain amount, take 25% of my salary or my paycheck or my business or contract, whatever is being paid to you, take 25% and save for this. And you might have another standing instruction from that account stating that Out of the 25% that have been saved from my paycheck, which has been done over years, you might decide that I want to take 80% of it and invest so that you don't run out of money. You don't have all your money in investments. You have some, maybe 20% of liquid cash. Should there be an emergency that you need cash for? Because sometimes there's some investment that you cannot liquidate immediately. It might take you, they might tell you 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, or 1 year. So you might have to give them some kind of, you know, information, as in give them notice that I'll be needing my money in the next 2 months so that the money can be made available. Because money tied in funds, in bonds, treasury bills, you know, and so many other things. Sometimes you can't get those money immediately. And that's why I tell you that every money put into savings should not be used totally for investments. You can decide that I have saved 25% in the last 10 years of my life. So I have 25% of my salary in the last 10 years. You are not expected to use all the 25% for investments. You cannot decide that I want to use 80% of my 25% that have been saved in the last 10 years into
Okay.
one of the money markets. You want to invest it for 1 year, 4 years, 5 years, and you find that the longer you invest your money, the more the interest rates. So, and you find that even saving money in a bank is not is of it's of no value. You're losing your money because the bankers are using your money and they're trading with your money. They're giving your money to people who lenders, people who are coming to ask for money from the bank, and they're collecting far outrageous interest rates. And you find that what is being paid to you is negligible, less than 1%. So why would you want to leave your money in the bank? The only reason why you leave cash in your account is for emergency. And not all cash should be left in the account. Such cash, maybe that's why I earlier said maybe 20% of your cash, your savings can be left in cash in liquid form. 80% can be invested into bonds, treasury bills, and other things. So that while you are away, while you're not working, while you're doing other business, your money is making money for you. Saving money can also help to build wealth over time. So as these funds can be invested into general things, you know, some people are into farming, some people are looking for loans, they go to bank, and sometimes family members might need money rather than they going to bank to get such money capital. If you have a trusted friend who needs money and you know the friend to be a genuine friend who will pay you, the friend can take such loans at cheap interest rates. You can decide, okay, you pay me 10% from every money I loan you. That's a good one. But because, you know, sometimes we do not trust the people we deal with, you want to bring a third party. I know of a friend, what they do is they put money together every week, $1,000 every week. The first person gets 5,000, they are five in number. So the first person gets I think they do it by ballots to know who is the first person to get the money. So at the end of the week, one of the first person gets the following week, the second person. Then at the end of the month, 5 weeks period, the fifth person. So that should you have a need for bulk money every week, you are sure that at least in one of the weeks you're going to be getting 5,000 together. Sometimes you have people who bring, you know, who work and hence so much. They put $20,000 together at the end of the month. So they might decide in 5 months you get 100,000. The other months the other person gets 100,000, and by so doing, such large capital can be used for businesses, can be used to purchase a property, can be used for capital expenditure, things that you know that are assets, they are not liability. I'm not saying go buy a car of $100,000 because the moment you take the car from the car lots, the car is not a liability. The car is a liability. So I'm not saying take
Definitely.
such large chunk and buy a car. You might want to buy a house because you know that landed properties, real estate will always appreciate. You might want to go into some money markets like treasury bills, money bonds. You know that they are going to appreciate. For stocks, if you don't understand stocks, there are times that we have bull and bear season. And if you do not understand that, and you put all your life savings into such, once you have a season where the money goes down, some people become fretty and they're put under pressure, such that they become so disturbed. And so that's why I tell people find out, get a financial advisor, read about investments, know about the different investments and their side effects before you go into investing all that you have saved for your life. Find out what will work with for you and how long can you wait before you get your funds back. Should if you are someone who would need the money in 1, 2, 3 years, then you want to find out about plans that will be for 1 year. So that after 12 months, you can get your money back. Not investing in the money market and you say you think, oh, 5 years will be a good one. And down the line, after 12 months, you have an emergency. And that's why it is not all your money, your liquid money that you put into investment, just the amount you know that you can stay without for the next 5 years. So it's important. It seems you want to say something.
Yeah, I'm just following what you said, and it's definitely a very, very truthful one, because most of the money, if you need, in fact, one of my mentors used to say, if you need something now, don't have the habit of always pulling out a lot of money from your immediate account. Plan to save for what you need. If you take, for instance, you want to buy a car which will be necessary for your business, you should have saved for it, save ahead for it. Don't just take it up immediately from your account and because you have the money with you. So savings, it's one of the various tool you need to create wealth. I used to tell people saving is the first commandment you have to fulfill if in the temple of wealth. If you want to create wealth and you cannot save, you can't create wealth, because
Yeah.
in this current economy, a lot of things is dragging with your money. In fact, early every year or every month, I used to check my bank statement to see how much came in, or every let's say quarterly or biannually. And sometimes you see the amount of money that is in it, and you say, ah, where is this old money? Where did this old money go to? But after you've been able to study, you say, ah, this money is going here, going here. Ah, a lot of channels at which money is going. So one just have to develop that mindset and say, see, I have this target of money I want to save to. If you've not saved up to 5 million naira before, hit that target. Say, I want to save up to 5 million naira or $5 million, or let's say $100,000 or $50,000. Let me save up to this amount. Then by the time you get to that amount, you become an investor. Nobody will tell you what to do, because it took a lot of discipline before you could save that money. As you are saving that money, family is calling for this, extended family is calling for this, your sibling is calling for that. So for you to be disciplined to hit a target, once you get to that target, you become an investor. You know what to do with the money. You start researching, and that is the next step of creating wealth. It's a very good thing to save, definitely.
Yes, that's why I'll call saving the ABC of wealth. If you don't have a
Yeah,
culture of saving, you cannot be affluent. You cannot
exactly.
attain financial freedom. You can never attain it because it is the money you have set aside over time. You can't just wake up and somebody saying, "Let me anoint you, let me pray for you," and money will get into your bank. How? How will the money come into? Yes, there are places where God has blessed people by using men and using men to bless others. Money would not just drop. I don't know from where. From where is it printed? You must have a culture of working, and that's why God expects us to put our hands in doing things. So in this series, I'm going to be talking about businesses you can do. Do you understand? Perhaps you're not working, you do not have a 9 to 5 job that you do. There are businesses. Look at things, find out what passion, what do you have? What can you sell? What can you do? What can you transact to bring in money? So, additionally, it can also help people build a cushion for financial security when you save and achieve long term financial goals. So, savings can also provide you a safety net in the case of job loss or unexpected financial hardship. Things happen. It is never planned. Challenges come, obstacles come. Nobody prays to be in difficult moments, but they just happen suddenly. So when they happen, what do you fall back on? You lose your job for months, 6 months, 1 year. You've got a family to feed, you have a rent to pay, you have bills to pay. What have you been doing the last 20 years of your life? You've been working. What savings have you put aside? What saving culture do you have? It is not too late if you have not started. It is said that the best time to have ever planted a tree was 20 years ago. And the next best time to have planted it is now. It is not too late for you to start now. Some people will tell you, oh, I'm 50, I'm 60, I'm 70. Whenever you find out an information that you think is good for you, That is when God wants you to know it. That's when you should embrace it. Because, yes, you could have learned this 20, 40, 50 years ago, but perhaps things worked out against you. You were not able to save. Nobody told you that savings was the foundation for you to becoming financially free. So I would encourage you, put that and teach your kids. Not, it is not taught in school. Savings, you are not taught financial literacy. So savings can also provide a safety net, like I earlier said, in case something happened. In case your breadwinner, maybe your father, your mother, or somebody who takes care of you, who provide the financial resources to you, who gives you all the money you spend, even as a student, is gone. Either the person was sick or had an accident and you lost such loved one. What do you fall back on? What savings have you been putting aside from the pocket money, from the token and stipend that has been given to you? So even as students, you can save. As a business owner, you can save. As a pastor, whatever you do, you can save. So you can teach your children, you can teach the people around you, your words around you, to start saving, no matter how small, whatever they receive. A certain percent must go for savings as much as you give a certain percent to tithing. So by having these funds available, people are better able to cope with financial emergency. Plan for the future. It is critical. Nobody's going to take care of your future for you. It is your future. It is no one's future. It is your own. So saving can also be used to purchase assets such as car. I would not say car is an asset. It could be an asset if you are buying to sell back to people. You are buying to resell. But if you are buying to use, a car is not an asset. Neither is it a luxury, but it is needed for life to, for you to be able to move around. You might want to invest in homes, go into real estate. There are a lot of things you can do with real estate. And next week we have an awesome guest that'll be coming on board who is into real estate. Who'll be telling you everything about real estate, about homes, shortlets, fix and flip, and other things. So you don't want to miss this session. So it's a time for you to come to learn about homes, about what you can do. You might not have the complete money to buy a house, but you can put money together to buy a house and let's. So 3, 4 people can come together to buy a home to use for Airbnb. So he's going to be talking about a lot that has to do with homes, having properties, having landed properties, having short legs for Airbnb and others. So other investment that can also help people build and protect their wealth over the long term. He'll be discussing about it. So it can also be used to fund vacation. One of the reasons too we put money aside, you want to spend some good time with your family. It is said that all work and no play make Jack a dull boy. And so you don't want to be a dull boy, right? You want to also find time to connect with your family. So you want to save money to go for vacations. You want to purchase a luxury item. You want to make charitable contributions to the homeless, to the orphans. You want to save money. So ultimately, savings can help provide financial security and peace of mind. And that's why my tagline is peaceable mind. You want to have, peaceful life in order for you to be able to, you want to have a peaceable mind in order for you to live a peaceable life. If your mind is not at rest such that you have not secured your future, there is no way you would have peace. You find that people at 70, 80, they are still working. And you'll be wondering, why is this person still, working? Is it that there were no plans, or he no children that were well taken care of? Because indeed, when you take care of your children, they are meant to take care of you when you're old, when you're feeble, when you cannot work. So you want to ask yourself, when you see people like that at 70, 80, they are still working. The first thing that comes to mind, what did this person use his savings or plan his life on? Are you telling me that this person had no kids, no family members to take care of he or she when he or she is old and feeble? So with savings, you can also provide long-term financial stability, help to secure a comfortable life. It can also help to provide cushion in the event of an unexpected financial hardship. About people who, I had a family member who went out for a meeting and they came back, everything they had in their home, their house, got burnt down to ashes. Nothing was taken. They had over 3, 4 cars. They are doctors. The wife is a professor. They came back, everything from roof went down to the level ground.
Wow.
So for such a person who has no cushion or no plan, no savings, how would that person be? And that's why I said money is a lower currency to relationship. People will tell you money is everything. Money answers to all things. Not at all. Money is good to have, but money does not answer to all things. Money does not answer to health. Money does not give you relationship. But do you know what happened to the man? People contributed money because he's a doctor. His patients who knew him, people rally around him. The church raised money for him. People gave money. He had more than he lost in that fire incident. So, and that's why I tell people beyond money, what relationship do you have with people? How do you keep your relationship? Do you burn bridges? Do you make friends with people and at the end of the day, you end up quarreling and you all go your different ways? Money cannot buy you people, cannot buy you friends. So you've got to be able to keep good relationship beyond money. So saving can be used to also achieve personal goals, such as buying a home, as I earlier said, and doing a lot, paying college tuition, in the side of this side of the country, Europe, North America, and the rest. Paying college tuition is a lot of money. So they must be planning to paying tuition. You don't want to take loans that you have to pay all your life and you pass such burden of debts to your children yet unborn. You don't want to pass college loans to your children yet unborn. So you want to get into a plan where you want to save for college for your children. You want to save for capital expenditures, assets. You must start by saving. This is the very basic rudiment that if anybody is missing, not saving, there is no way. I'm not cursing you, I'm not saying anything wrong. There is no way you can attain financial freedom because you have not studied the basics of financial freedom. So that's why I said you must be able to save. No matter how tough it is, no matter how meager and small your salary can be, you must set aside money every month. Individuals can plan for retirements aside from your company. We have organizations that have plans and have retirement benefits. Beyond that, you can also do your personal ones. Find out possible ways you can do that. Having a savings would help you have peace of mind. So it can also help build confidence when you know what you have in the account. When people are talking, there's this kind of confidence and this kind of hair that comes around you because, oh, I know I have some good money somewhere. I have money working for me even when I'm sleeping. Allowing individuals to make informed decisions, you need to take control of your financial future. So you need to make informed decisions. You don't want to wait and meet people to be the one to advise you for everything. As much as you're talking to a financial advisor, you also need to do your homework. You need to find out what for you. How long do you want to put this money aside? I'm also learning. I'm also in the learning curve. I've not attained what you call financial freedom 100%, but I am on my way to achieving it. Likewise, my co-host Israel Paul. So we are all on our way. So, but we do not want to leave people behind. So we just thought of this and said, okay, how can we help the populace? How can we help people by starting this class? Will I call it a class or webinar, or just it's an interactive section? You might have a question. You have savings and you don't know what to do with it. I can direct you to some websites to go read to get information. You must be informed in order for you to be able to make informed decision. If you're not informed, you'll make the wrong decision. And at the end of the day, you will not be able to take control of your financial future. And you want your children, you want to leave legacies for your children yet unborn. You want to earn them great bettings, legacies that they will look back and be thankful that they had great parents like you. Thank you. And let me take questions now. I think I've been talking for a while.
I think we have a question. I think Deborah Taylor asked a question. She said, "Thank you so much for joining this show, Deborah." She said it is more wiser. She said it's more wiser to save a little constantly, just what you said, than to save a lot now and then you stop saving. She said, "Is it? This is so good. Are you going to have a printed material, perhaps that they might purchase? She might purchase." So she's asking if you have a material that she might purchase. So
No, I
I
think if you
feel.
go to the YouTube, I actually did some write up. They can go back there and read. I did some write up about savings, why you need to save. So, and if you need extra materials from me, I can. You can shoot me a mail at info at sandrauko.com or moneymatterslive2 at gmail.com. I'll be able to send you a soft copy of a write up to go back to read. I don't need to sell. I think maybe sometime in the future, I might have to write something on money because I think money is a necessary vehicle that we need to live life, live life to the best. For you to spend good time with your family, you need money. For you to go for vacation, you need money. For you to have, good checkup, you need money. You need money as much as possible you do. So and you need to start the plan now. It's not too late. Like she rightly said, a little. It said a tiny drop of rain or water makes a mighty ocean. It is important you start putting money aside, no matter how small. Yes, you might not have enough to take care of impending or present need. You might have to start putting money, no matter how small, putting it aside to take care of rainy day. You never know when the need for money will come.
Hmm, hmm. Very, very good. I don't know. I have some of us are watching us right now. Thank you so much. We appreciate. So, if you have any question, Deborah, I can still see what you write there. Your advice is very wise. Thank you so much for joining us. Do you have any questions? Any other question? You have so that we can attend to the question as we plan to call it a day, and
Did
definitely
anyone
don't
want
miss.
to come? Maybe some might want to come live, like we did. I am
Okay,
sending the StreamYard link
link.
so they
Okay,
can come
great.
live. They might want to come live. If you want to come into the studio, you want to ask your question in person, you're free to
Okay,
join
great.
us live to ask because it is an interactive section. We want people to be able to ask their question. I have a friend, my friend here is a chartered accountant. He's into money, he's into real estate. He should be able to help with some questions if I'm not able to help you with. But I'm very informed and I can tell you, I'd like to give my life story, how I started and how life had been for me, how what informed me to doing all I've done in time past. But before any questions come further, let me just tell you a life story. When I got out of school, little did I know I was going to work as a salesperson. I was a science person all my life. I'd worked as my first degree was biochemistry, my second degree was biochemistry. Little did I know I was going to, stumble into becoming a marketer, a salesperson, that I'll be going from office to office to talk to people, convince them to buy my IT solution because I was working for an IT company when I just left school. And I was given a car as a salesperson, That means my level rise. Instead of me going from taking buses, I started driving. I had a car to myself. And that was a good one for me. I was with that first company for close to 5 years. And when it was time for me to resign and move into to look for a better paying job, I was meant to leave the car behind. So that means I'm going to go back to taking buses again. But do you know what worked for me? As a culture for me, I'd learned savings over time while growing up. When my parents would give me money and my uncles and aunties come around, those days, they give you money and you just go save your money. I'd learned how to save such that when I got out of school, the first money I made from my National Youth Service, I didn't touch it. That was the first money I put aside. And the first thing people asked me, "Oh my God, how are you surviving?" I said, whilst a
Wow.
copper, where I'm working as my primary assignment, I was being paid. So the one the government was paying me, I was saving it totally. I didn't touch the money. And that was the first capital I would ever have as capital to start any business. And that was how I went into business whilst working. I was doing some fetish selling, perfume selling, material selling. And now I went beyond just doing those things. I went to the bank. Then I don't know if you know about Oasis. Those in Nigeria probably would know Oasis Insurance. I would go there
Yeah.
and apply for loans. I would get half a million, a million. I would take this money and I'll buy stocks. So right from my secondary school days or my college days, I was a person that was driven. I would want to buy properties. My friends would be like, Sandra, why when girls are talking about fashion, how to buy long hair, look good in school, you are thinking about having properties, buying land, and it's training and upbringing. So I had that culture when I was growing, such that when I was getting out of school, the first money I made, I was able to buy land, even not married, was still a single lady. And I was able to, go to banks, take money as loans, buy stocks. Even when we got married, I had that culture that as me and my husband were able to go to the bank, even get money to buy stocks. When it was time for me to drop the car, I knew that it would be careless. So the best I could do was we had bought some GTB stocks there, so much, about 12,000 units. And when we needed a car, we needed money. And we didn't have cash, liquid cash. So what we did that then was to go sell some of our stocks. We had to look at stocks that were really doing well in the market. That was how we raised the first money we were able to use to buy a car. So you can imagine if we had no saving culture. And that helped me in the sense that once I get my pay check, I am bound to pay the bank their own money. And it was meant to be monthly. So once my money gets into my account, they take their own share. So that helps me to have a disciplined culture, such that if I was receiving 100,000, 50,000 was already going to the bank. So what I am left to spend for the months was just what I have in the accounts.
Mm.
So that's a way to do it. So if you want to do that, you can get money ahead of time. That means you're taking money ahead of time. So as your pay comes, you pay the bank. So you're able to generate more interest working for you. So when we did need a car, we didn't have to go around to meet uncles and aunties looking for cars. We could, confidently go to a stock broker to talk to them that we need some money to get a car. And that was how we got our first car.
Mm. Mm. That's a very good one, because just like you even walked in line with what one of my mentors said. um, you never knew that while you were walking there will be quick need, or there will be it maybe you stop working at your place of work and they will ask you to drop the vehicle. Take for instance, you never saved. Do you know why you are driving? There is a lot of convenience with driving. I can't even
Yeah.
imagine when you now stop driving and you start hopping into the public bus. That person's life
No,
will be so aggressive and miserable because
no. And
you keep
again, when you
remembering
have
the
children,
convenience. Oh,
should you
you
have an
see.
emergency in the night to take your kids to the hospital? You understand?
So
Like where we come from, we don't have the means of saying you want to call 911 or ambulance. You have to drive that child to the hospital. So what do? That means you probably would have to drag that baby to the roadside or get an Uber to get there. And it is expensive. That's why I tell people you don't see having a car as a luxury. It's just a means to live a convenient life and for you to run your day-to-day business.
definitely, definitely. I never knew this earlier before I got my. People always think, oh, getting a car is a luxury, this and that.
It's
When
no
I
luxury at
actually,
all.
yeah, I discovered that this just makes life easier for you.
It's
So
for convenience.
it's for convenience. It's for convenience. Very, 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 very good one. In fact, sometimes, like your story that you shared, you were able to invest that money in stock and it grew, and out of it was what you used to buy what you need. And you also said some of the money you were able to pull out. Also, you were able to even buy landed property, and that's one of the next point after saving. After you have saved, the money shouldn't be used to foot something unnecessary.
Sure.
It should appreciate. It should be used to foot something that would bring you into your next level of financial freedom. Just like the vehicle you got, it made it easier for you to run your businesses. I knew you had other businesses at the side. So take for instance, you didn't have the vehicle, it's going to affect your business. So after savings, the next thing is to put the money into something else. Don't just because while you're saving also for a while, long period of time, there will always be, there might be effect of time value of money. But when you get a particular level, you invest it, just like you said, you invest it into properties and the likes, and before you know it, financially you're on your way to financial freedom. I'm really, really glad to hear all this info as regards saving. If you want to join the stream, you can check the comment section. There's a link. Sandra dropped the link some minutes ago to join and ask the question you want to ask. Um, uh, and also, don't forget the show coming up next week, Friday. It promises to be very, very impactful by 9 um, p.m. West Africa time, and that's 4 p.m. right of Eastern Standard Time. Am I right, Sandra? I think it's 4 p.m.
Yes.
of 4 p.m. 4 p.m. Yeah, definitely. So we'll be
And
coming up
and,
with
and,
Doctor.
and that's
Yeah,
9 p.m. West African time.
yes, that's 9 p.m. If you are in West Africa, you'll be joining us by 9 p.m. But if you are in, let's say you are in the UK or in the US, just follow the timing, Eastern Standard Time, 4 p.m. And be sure to join us with Dr. Olumide Emmanuel. Will be sharing marvelous and very impactful information. Um, I don't know if Sandra has something else also to talk about.
Yes, before we
What
call it a day, I want to
people
thank
to
everyone, our viewers. I want to thank everyone joining us on this show. And I just dropped a link, and that's the link for the registration for Olumide Emmanuel. You don't want to miss the show at all next week, Thursday. We're bringing a guru, or a money, well, I call him a money making machine. He's written several books on money. He has landed properties in the US and also in Nigeria. And he'll be coming on or on the show to talk about real estate, everything that has to do with short-term lets, renter, Airbnb, what you can do. Should you not have, the large chunk of money to buy a property in your name, you can put a pool of money together, buy a property and put it for lets. And you can be making income from that, maybe 30, 40% every month of your money. And this can be like a salary for you. That's a money vehicle where your money is making money for you. So you don't want to miss it, but we're going to be sending information as regards that. You might want to check the link that I just sent. You might want to register. One of the reasons why registration is key is for us to be able to send you reminders, because you get busy and you might forget that there is a training like this coming up next week Thursday. It's meant to be next week Friday, but our host is engaged already for Friday, so we have to move it to Thursday, 4 p.m. EST, which is a 9 p.m. West African time. So I want to thank our viewers. I also want to thank my co-host, Financial Paul. Thank you for being on this show. And everyone, do have a blessed evening and stay blessed. Till our next episode, let's go out there and think about money, better ways to save our money. Thank you. Let's get informed,
thank you
informed
so
in order
much.
to make informed decisions. Thank you and bye.
Bye everyone. Okay.